Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. The Canadians get another big win, their second in a row in this back-to-back here at home. It's 6-2 win over the Florida Panthers, and that's a big win for the Canadians to get a regulation win against an Atlantic Division opponent. Obviously, the Florida Panthers are not in the playoff race as of right now. I mean, they're definitely in the race. They're definitely contending to be, a team that's making the playoffs this year, but they're definitely a team that could make the playoffs, but they're not in the playoffs as of right now. But even still, the Canadians getting 2 points over an Atlantic Division opponent, no matter what it is a huge thing. And with that win, as of right now, and I'm not sure if anybody else from the Atlantic Division is playing that is meaningful for us right now. The Red Wings did win in tonight's game as well, but as it sits right now, because we have a game in hand on the Detroit Red Wings, we are sitting at number 1 in the Atlantic for the first time, I think, period, this season. So a really good showing for the Canadians to get those back-to-back wins there against a really tough opponent as well. I mean, the Florida Panthers are no slouches by any means. An interesting kind of spin from the way that last night's game went. I feel like this one was a lot more back and forth as compared to the game we had yesterday and some other games we played recently. We were able to find a way to win regardless. So we only had 19 shots on goal when it was all said and done, but got 6 goals on those 19 shots, so very productive there. Montembeault played really solid. He got 24 out of 26 saves there. He did really well, but obviously we can't talk any longer without talking about Alexandre Texier. Absolutely incredible performance from him. He gets the hat trick for the first time in his career, and for the first time in a long time that I can remember that the Montreal Canadiens player got a hat trick. I think the last time that happened, at least that what I remember, is when Cole Caulfield at home scored a hat trick against the Florida Panthers, I think 2 seasons ago or something like that, in like the 82nd game of the season. We weren't making the playoffs that year, so it was the end of the season for the Canadians, but I'm pretty sure that's the last time a Montreal Canadiens player has actually posted a hat trick. Somebody can correct me if they'd like, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. And what a guy to do it as well. You would think that if a guy was going to score a hat trick on this team, it would be Cole Caulfield or Ivan Demidov or somebody like that. But it's Alexandre Texier, a guy who we were paying literally $1 million for 1 year off of a contract termination and sign from the St. Louis Blues, like a guy who was completely written off from a different franchise and now is getting completely new life and new meaning with the Montreal Canadiens, and he's making the absolute most of it. And just an incredibly impressive game from him. He's been having great games as of late, and again, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, it'll be interesting to see how long this actually lasts and if he kind of regresses back towards the mean. But for now, he's playing an absolutely incredible game, and he's bolstering this top line in a way that we haven't seen, really since Safkowski was, playing well on that top line. So a really great performance from him. Oliver Kapanen also ends this game with 3 points, and Samuel Montembeault gets a 9.23 save percentage, and great games from all of those guys. The first period started off with a goal from Noah Dobson. He gets his 8th of the season. Mike Matheson his 15th assist, and Kapanen his 10th assist of the season there. So a great way to start this off. Just a nice bomb from Dobson that finds its way through to the back of the net, and then Oliver Kapanen doubles down on this one, getting a nice backhand off into the net there from Slavkovsky. And that goal really generated by, just really strong forecheck from Slavkovsky. He's able to put the body on down below the net and then kick this puck out towards Kapanen, who's able to, put that one in on the backhand there. So just great all-around effort. Obviously, we've been really praising Slavkovsky this season. He's been playing really, really well, looking more and more like the player that we drafted him to be. So, and really good for him. And obviously, Oliver Kapanen continuing to be really impressive. His 15th goal of the season. Slavkovsky's 19th assist of the season there. So again, just a very impressive performance by a lot of these guys. We're getting a lot of different faces, coming up and making big plays when we need them to, which is definitely one of the things that hasn't really been something we've seen in previous years. Obviously we've relied very heavily on Suzuki and Caulfield in previous seasons to be the offensive generators, and now that we have some of these other guys who can also contribute offensively, it is really making a big difference in our ability to have success here. And I think we're kind of seeing the fruits of Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon's labor in action, at least at this point of the season. In the second period, Sam Bennett scores one. whatever. You might like to have that save there, but it is what it is. Texier, though, he gets a goal there to put us back in that 2-goal lead. It's his 5th goal of the season. Carrier with a really nice pass. By the way, he gets that pass from Suzuki, gets his 11th. Carrier gets his 11th assist, and Nick Suzuki gets his 34th assist on the season. A really nice pass from Carrier. He could have just put this one straight up on net, but he finds Texier on the back door with a stick available and targets that stick, pinpoint accuracy, and all Texier has to do is just put a stick on the ice, goes right off of his stick and in the net, and a great play there. It starts what would be a hat-trick performance from Texier tonight, but just a way to be in the right spot, and a really good pass by Texier makes that goal possible. And then Texier doubles down off of kind of a broken play a little bit. It's kind of funny. He gets his 6th goal of the season. Mike Matheson, the assist there, gets his 16th goal of the season. It was a 2-on-1 play, kind of a broken play from the Panthers that led to a 2-on-1 the other way. Texier was looking shot and then went for the pass over to Cole Caulfield, but it was blocked by the Panthers defenseman. But it went right off of the stick. He was kind of laying down, put a stick on the ice. It went right off the stick and right back onto the tape of Texier. So just kind of a really fortuitous bounce there that just ends up right back where it started. And then Texier makes no mistake because Bobrovsky kind of bit really hard on that initial pass. He dove over to try to make that save on Cole Caulfield. It comes right back onto the stick of Texier, and he's got the wide open net to shoot at. Makes no mistake, and that's his 2nd goal of the game there. Sam Bennett doubles down afterwards. A very similar play to the first Texier goal from Carrier. Rodriguez is able to find Sam Bennett, his stick kind of open on the far side there, and nobody's able to tie it up in time. So that's a tough one as well. You'd like to have a little bit better coverage. Well, actually, it was a rebound there that came off of the shot from Rodriguez, and I think at the time I was thinking maybe that will be a little bit better, a little bit better rebound control there. It'd be nice to just kind of swallow that thing up, or at least put it back over to the side of the net and in the corner, but. Unfortunately, it goes right on to where the stick of Bennett is, and he's able to get a 2nd of the game there. But that wouldn't last. That wouldn't really generate a comeback for them too much. Uri Slafkovsky gets his 16th goal of the season. It was an awarded empty net goal. He had the wide open net to shoot at, and then his stick got slashed in half, and as he was going for the shot, so by rule, that is awarded an empty net goal. And that is his 16th of the season. Oliver Kapanen gets his 11th assist of the season, and Lane Hudson gets his 36th assist of the season. So he continues to climb up the leaderboards there. So a really great game from him there. Everybody on the Canadians, I felt like had a really solid game. Despite some minor things that we could still be doing a little bit better, but I think everybody had a great game in this one. And then Texier, of course, finishes off the hat trick, his 7th goal of the season from Sammy Blais, who gets his 5th assist of the season, and Joe Veleno, who really does a lot of the grunt work to get this goal to happen. It's only his 2nd assist of the season, but he does a lot of good work on the wall. He makes a couple of nice dangles to get himself in a shooting position. It goes off of Blais, and then it's kind of just floating up in the air, and Texier bats this one out of the air into the back of the net. The hats come raining down, and from a crowd that's been absolutely electric for the entire game, it was only fitting that Texier would score a hat trick there and let the fans throw their hats onto the ice. So I think that was a perfect way to end this one. I think that was a really cool thing, especially for Texier. That's his first career hat trick, and especially considering, as I mentioned before, his whole story coming into this and the way that he, battled back to make that happen is really inspiring, at least to me. So yeah, I think that was really cool to see him go from, getting his contract terminated with the St. Louis Blues to scoring a hat trick only a few weeks, months later, and really making an impact on this team and getting us a big win. So yeah, I think overall that's pretty much all I've got for this game here. A really solid effort. Definitely some things that we could shore up a little bit. The only real thing that is kind of concerning to me at this point is the goalie situation and where we're going from there. I felt like Montembeault was solid and he made some great saves. There were also some moments of shakiness that we've come to expect a little bit from him this season, unfortunately. You might like to have those goals be a little bit better, swallow those rebounds up a little bit and be a little bit more tight, but Overall, I think that the biggest thing is just like I don't like the way that Dobesh is being treated right now. I feel like he deserves to play some more games. I totally understand the idea of getting Montembeault back in there as our most seasoned goaltender, and Jacob Fowler playing really really well, and he definitely deserves to be playing NHL games as well. But I feel like Dobesh was definitely the better goalie before we called up Fowler in the first place, and it feels like he's kind of the one drawing the short straw a little bit, which kind of disappoints me. But it'll be interesting to see where things go with that. But yeah, like even if he has to go back down to the minors, at least he's playing games. I don't really like the idea of him just kind of sitting on the bench or sitting in the press box over and over again and not being able to play. When I feel like he's definitely proven, he hasn't always been perfect, but he's a rookie right now, and I feel like he's been playing really solid hockey when he was able to actually play. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on from here on out with that goalie situation. But I do hope that at some point in the near future, one of our three goalies gets sent down to the minors to actually play some games and not have this three goalie rotation going on. But other than that, a really solid game, but we have another really important matchup coming up in our next one on Saturday night. It is Red Wings and Canadians. The Red Wings, the team literally tied with us right at this moment, and a win against the Red Wings would definitely give us some good separation from the Detroit Red Wings, who, again, we're literally tied with them for first in the Atlantic right now. We have the edge because of games played, and that would continue to be the case moving forward, but it's another big game against a solid team. We got to find a way to get some more points. It's Atlantic Division opponents. We got to stay sharp and keep winning games here. So that should be a pretty good game. But that's pretty much all I have for this one. I thought it was a very very solid game for the Canadians. Two nights in a row where the Canadians play really solid and get some production from all over their lineup. We just got to be a little bit more consistent in those performances. Do that a little bit more often on a nightly basis here, and I think we really got something going on here. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. That is it for me, and I will see you guys after hopefully another 2 points against the Red Wings on Saturday.